Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. It feels good to be back down in the basement, getting back at this season. Sorry, it's been a long hiatus from the last time I streamed, but it looks like we're 7-4 with the Chicago Bears. Just to recap, one of the big trades I made is to get Michael Vick on the team. So, you're seeing the Chicago Bears mostly with their roster intact, with Michael Vick, Cordell Stewart as a backup, and that's pretty much the only additions I made. So, let's take a look at the schedule. I want to refresh myself on what's going on with the season here, but I'm 7-4. I just crushed the Cowboys in the last game. So we'll watch this week's Sports Center to give us a recap of how this season's going. So, looks like we're definitely in the playoff hunt, but need 2 or 3 more wins probably to clinch a playoff berth. So, let's get right to it. Look at the presentation of this game with Sports Center from Chris Berman.
I'm Chris Berman. Well, let's get straight to the action. In our first game this week, we had the Chiefs edge their way to a narrow 3-point win. The Jets won this contest, but will stay at the 4th place in the AFC East. In a long-standing NFC
So sorry, my face is covering up some of the stats here.
Patrick, yes, I'm certain, stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. Bears, Cowboys. Number 00 would come up with the big play to kill a drive because he was able to step in front of a wayward pass for an INT. The Bears win this one by the final score of 48-7. We had a big
So it looks like Vic did more damage on the ground for me in that last game.
All right, Chris. Well, trades aren't quite as common in the NFL nowadays as they are in other sports.
What's up, Antonio? How's it going? Good to see you in the chat. I did actually look for NBA Live 99 at the Retro store last time I went there, which was about a week ago. And they don't have it, so I'll have to order it off eBay or somewhere else. Looks like they didn't really take in much for the sports section. I went in to buy some sports games, and I ended up buying a couple games that my daughter might enjoy. But I don't think she really cared too much. But I did buy a crappy Sesame Street game for Nintendo. Don't recommend it. Not that you were looking for it anyways.
Still at the 23-yard line. Split to the left a little bit in the backfield. Now goes deep to the end zone.
Peyton Manning.
But it's a touchdown. The Colts go on to win this by the final score of 24-14.
So even though I'm 7-4, it is definitely no gimme to get in the playoffs. It's a tight race. I'll look at the standings after this recap.
The Vikings won at home, but will take to the road next week to meet the Bears. Eagles, Giants. Tiki Barber backed up.
I'm streaming late because I got the equipment from my brother Lumberjack Cracks, who really hasn't been streaming his late night show as much as I thought and he thought he would. So I finally got an opportunity. It's Friday night. Don't have work tomorrow. Wanted to get back at the season, so thought it was a good time to do that now.
We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the load.
And like I said, I've never played through a full season of this game, so I'm kind of excited to see where it's going to take me, especially after the season concludes, as far as what they're going to present. Because this game has all kinds of different things around the corner for you that you wouldn't expect that you didn't see in football games before this one. So, it's a good experience playing this game.
Marvin Jones is on the move, as you see, as he accepts a pretty good offer to leave his current club. 3 years, $6.1 million, plus a $1.2 million signing bonus. Stanley Pritchett will also be locked up for a while as he signs a healthy 6-year contract with the Redskins.
Ravens, Patriots. Tom Brady is eyeing the end zone.
Tom Brady doing it in 2005, still doing it today. Throwing touchdowns.
Touchdown. The Patriots go on to win this by the final score of 20-10. We had a big injury in this.
It's fun playing through it too because I definitely haven't mastered this game, so playing the computer is still a challenge. I'm playing on All Pro. I've been asked a few times through this what sliders I play on, and I don't adjust any of the sliders, just straight up All Pro. I've been told I've made it look easy for some games, but then again, I think having Mike Vick has made it easier for me to win some games. But I've still lost a couple since I've got him, so.
After the game revealed it is indeed a broken leg, so he'll likely be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance
if I play a talented team, it feels like I'm playing a talented team. If I'm playing a crappy team, then it's pretty easy to beat them up. Like, I think against the Cowboys, the last game I was playing, they were using Quincy Carter as quarterback, and they couldn't get anything going.
Not good news for his club. So that'll do it for now. Boomer, back to you.
And in our final game, we had the Saints come away victorious. So
that's big. The Falcons were killing it, even with Rex Grossman. He's one of the guys that traded away.
He joins us now. Mel, your work never ends, I know.
Live 99 from Amazon. Yeah, I prefer eBay. Prices on Amazon usually are higher than they need to be. There's usually less options too. Live 99, it's one of those weird ones that didn't come out on 64, didn't come out on Super Nintendo. Bob Money with the 49ers logo. 49ers are having themselves a season in this game. What's up, Bob Money? So I've been playing this season. I had a goal of finishing it before football season, but didn't happen. But we're gonna get there. I'm playing as the Chicago Bears because I am from Chicago. This is the National Championship, Troy, of ESPN 2K5. You got that right.
That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and
who do I think you're talking about? Current NFL?
We'll see you next week right here on ESPN.
Your guess is as good as mine. My mind's lost in the past with the rosters and different things. Who do you think they're going to take it to? Or anyone else in the chat? Is Garoppolo going to be ready for next year? It is on the N64? Really? Live 99's on the N64. That I didn't know. That actually interests me to get now. I thought they started at Live 2000. Okay, so let's take a look. ESPN.com. Look at the standings. So I'm 7-4. The Vikings already clinched a playoff berth in my division. Oof, I can't remember if I did give them that loss. I kind of feel like it did. Bosa, he's training with his teammates. Yeah, the 49ers should be due up for a good season as long as their whole roster doesn't get injured again. So, and if I look at the East, Redskins, so yeah, the 49ers and the Bucks are my two biggest challenges for the wild card, but I would have the first wild card spot right now. So I'm looking good, pretty good for the playoffs. Jimmy G's training. At first it's just copy and paste of Live 98. So what's different about the PlayStation Live 99 versus the N64 Live 99? I'm interested to know. I know, like, the one thing I don't like about the N64 Lives is that they don't have the music, you know, because of the how they built the cartridges, they couldn't put that, they didn't have the memory to put it on there like they did on the discs. Okay, so we might as well get into a game. And it is the 10-1 Vikings, so this is going to be a tough one, not playing in a while and going up against the top team in the NFC. This should make for an interesting game. So this training portion, I don't really do anything. I'm as ready as I'll ever be to play this game. And my ratings are down, but like I said the whole time, I think that's because I'm not training my players. But once we go into the game, everyone has the right overall rating and everything.
Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Coming up on ESPN.
See what Berman has to say about this one.
No matter how much you packed away at the dinner table, we still got a great buffet of football.
Yeah, I figured it had more music, halftime shows, actually better player models. I don't think I was into Live 99 because if I remember correctly, that's when the NBA strike was.
And now they are just moments away from what they've been waiting for.
Also going into that season, the Bulls weren't too good.
Welcome to Chicago Field.
Not that that mattered for me. I was always a fan of the NBA.
Well, some very talented players holding down the safety positions. Wouldn't you agree?
No question about it, Dan. Safeties are often literally the last line of defense.
And not always the Bulls.
As they come. Mike Brown is an extraordinarily talented free safety. What I love about this guy is his agility. He can
so a random linebacker on my team is actually killing it, Odom. And he didn't really play much for the Bears at the time. But he's got a bunch of picks on the season. I use Urlacher on defense, but my middle linebacking skills in this game compared to how I was in the Madden PS2 games is not even half as good. I was like a lock for Defensive Player of the Year in that game if I played through seasons. This one, I think I got Vic in the running. More commentary, yeah, because there's more memory, so they could put more of it in. Yeah, the PlayStation 1 is definitely the one I'll look for. So I'm going to kick it away first. Is Vince Carter in Live 99? Was that his rookie year? Yeah, I'm up late. Definitely. But hey, if you want to play some ESPN NFL 2K, it's not going to happen during the day for me, so got to stay up late and make it happen.
Williams decides to take it out of the end zone.
Big tackle right there for the Bears special teams.
Not to down it, but couldn't even make it to the 20, which may affect his Christmas gift from his special teams coach.
The Vikings will start this first play of the drive at their own 16-yard line.
So they got Culpepper, Bennett, the track star from Wisconsin in the backfield. He's still looking fast, coming up big with the user tackle.
That will bring up second down.
So Allen Rossum, he's just a backup corner. Oh wow, Moss is out. That's huge.
Brody Lydia
I'll take it.
Steps up and uses his strength here. Oh, really carved out a path.
Yeah. So yeah, Antonio, I think that's really why I wasn't that interested in that game specifically. I remember playing it, but I was disappointed about the NBA lockout. I'm surprised they didn't skip that year because of that. No, not Joe Odom. I was just talking about him. He's having a great season. Oh no, he looks like he's in excruciating pain.
Face pass, number 59, defense.
Oh, and they call a penalty on him? Unbelievable.
Automatic first down.
Joe Odom clearly tugs on the face mask here. You just can't do
See,
that.
this is why.
Yep, there's the flag.
This is why you can still say Tecmo is better.
That's a personal foul.
Because penalties that the computer committed a face mask, those will just drive you nuts. It's a video game. You might as well remove the penalties. I remember Bennett always being a problem in games. Not because he was that good of a running back. He's just really fast. Oh, there we go. Mike Green.
The 46.
Bringing it all day.
Michael Green, that's why you think twice before throwing a pass in his neighborhood. Watch.
I play a lot of man with the two safeties back in cover two. Like that premium coverage. So now I have to remember some of my tricks. The post route, I know that's like my main thing. That's what works. Rossum, former Packer, yeah, he was on the Packers. I think he returned some punts for them, right?
No dice, and it falls incomplete.
Incomplete pass, really.
On the short out on that one and
I guess they're saying his feet were out.
Stood up to that play and shuts down what would be a minimal gain anyway. It'll be second down. Second down with the tight end right.
Yes, that's me looking down at the controller because I didn't play so many games. Sometimes I forget what system I'm playing. There you go, Vic. Nothing like a 19-yard scramble for a first down. So he's already over 1,000 yards for the season. And yard per carry average, unbelievable.
Good coverage, good pressure, but still, no one could corral him.
It's really tough to want to run the ball when you have such a lethal weapon in the backfield. Did it there, lost 2 yards. Yes, I definitely have a bunch of NBA games. My favorite one's to play are the NBA Inside Drive. I think I have all of those, except maybe the one with Paul Pierce on the cover.
Justin Gage.
I have ESPN basketball with I think Iverson's on the cover.
Third down from the shotgun. Clark didn't haul that one in, and it
I forced that.
Fourth down coming up.
Desmond Clark had some room on the outside on that play, but catching the ball was
okay. So I'm going for it.
That seems to be an odd call, Peter. It fell incomplete, but even if they had caught it, they still would have been short of the first
and no.
It'll be fourth down.
Got the first down, but fumbled.
E.J. Henderson delivers a punishing blow to the ball carrier there. And he gives
basically, I didn't get it.
For the fumble.
The Vikings want to capitalize on the fumble and will start this drive at their own.
I did hit the button to slide dive, but didn't work out. Too late.
Bennett carries it off the toss and picks up a couple. Second down, 2 wideouts on the field.
Down. Set.
Culpepper zings it to the right side, and it's incomplete.
It looked like my defensive player was in good position to pick it off, but he wasn't even looking at the ball there. That should be a pick. What is he doing? That's Mike Brown back there, and that's how he's treating that ball. I don't know about the AI on that play. I mean, that looked like a punt return. I have streamed the Inside Drive games.
Perfect D for that situation.
And it will bring up fourth down.
I actually was going to start a season in those. And then I forgot to save the first week,
a few yards on the run back there, whittling
or
down
the
the
first
size
few
of the punt
games.
a little bit.
And then that kind of made me lose momentum.
Bears fumbled the ball away last time.
I'll get to them because I do really enjoy those. Those are like the first ones where I felt like the teams were actually running their offense.
Has a great offensive line in front of him. They made that play happen. Yep, those blockers.
I think the one on Shaq, with Shaq on the cover, is like 2004. That is the best one. It's polished up a little bit more. But you gotta love the Vince Carter cover with him doing the through the legs dunk. Ooh, David Terrell showing the hands on that one. So this is the one play I picked. Try to get everyone cleared out to the other side so I have open running room, but they were bringing a corner blitz, so it wasn't there. So I kind of had to throw that, which it could be risky, but there seemed to work out okay. Booker's been killing it on the post routes.
He's got the first down and a whole lot more.
Marty Booker made the catch back
I'm
there,
not
but then
trying to do
extra
anything
yards on
too
top of that.
fancy on
Great
this play.
effort.
A beautiful pickup, Peter. Everyone on the offense is happy about
Just
that play.
get a touchdown.
Great call by the offensive coordinator.
And it will be a first down. First down, goal to go.
See if they bring a blitz here again. They do. Guess I'm risking a fumble there. Maybe I'll just try to pound this one in with Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones is a tough runner for the Bears. I don't know if I like that weak dive, but I'm going to go with it. What is the Bears' record, and are you leading the division? I'm not. I'm 7-4. The Vikings are leading the division. They're 10-1, and I'm playing them right now.
Goes right up the middle and maybe picks up one.
Brian makes an appearance. DPS and Tom tied 7th in the bracket. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win, but
Not much there. But
those last two games tonight were good.
And short.
I would have streamed earlier if those games weren't so good.
That will end the first quarter.
First quarter's over. A-Train. John, I actually traded Anthony Thomas away. He had a good rookie season. In this game, he's slow. And I needed something to throw in to get Vic. And since I already had Thomas Jones, I didn't feel that bad about... See, I don't want to run a trap. I don't know why there's not like just goal line. So let's try the weak dive again. UNC, I didn't have further than the Elite Eight. I didn't have them in the Final Four, I don't think, in either bracket I had. Well, Microsoft didn't make Inside Drive. It was actually high voltage software, which they ported over NBA Jam on the Atari Jaguar. And they had that line of sports games to, compete with PlayStation with 989. Nintendo had their sports games, like at the time, like Kobe Bryant's NBA Courtside. So they all had like their in-house sports game to kind of compete with each other with exclusives, which, that's something that doesn't happen today. So that was kind of cool because we got great variety of games, because not only do we have EA and Sega making games for all the systems, they were all making their own exclusive sports games. So I figured that it probably just didn't sell well enough for them, or they had to pay the studio too much, so who knows. But they never made it to the Xbox 360 trying to with those games. Look at Thomas Jones is excited about that touchdown. Vic's been getting all the glory.
The Vikings have had some trouble moving the ball recently.
Game break. Bengals and Ravens also 7-4. Same record as the Bears in this season. Urlacher comes flying in a little bit too late.
Second down.
So I was talking to a friend yesterday about Gronkowski retiring. And I remember the last time I saw a player like Gronkowski, like I just knew, like, wow, this has got to be the last year, was Urlacher. Because Gronkowski was so dominant. One of the best tight ends ever, if not the best. And then last year, specifically during the regular season, because he played pretty good in the playoffs, like he just looked slow. And his athletic ability wasn't there. That's kind of how Urlacher was his last season. Like, he was half the speed he was. I mean, obviously, he still had the mind to play the linebacker, middle linebacker position, but he was just not a shell of his former self. You had UNC versus Duke, with Duke winning all. My dreams of winning 1,500 plus. Yeah. North Carolina kind of got crushed there by Auburn. I would never expected that, but that's March Madness for you. I mean, the brackets, they're not too crazy. Last year you had a number 11 in the Final Four, Loyola. No one expected that. You know, there were people in the brackets I were in that had that because we're from Chicago and they were just hoping that that would happen. But otherwise, I'm sure most people didn't have that happening. But this year, what, the lowest in the Elite Eight's Auburn with the 5 seed.
Desmond Clark had a defender close by, but was able to bring down the catch.
Peter, what a nice pickup to get them into
Jones on the playing zone here. So.
Great play, and now they have a bunch of options.
No.
To try next.
Johnston sack way back.
Lance Johnson nails the offense.
He just had a good blitz package on that.
Watch how he zeroes in on the target. Ouch! Oh, he sacked him way back there. Great play.
They forced that
a
one
weird
backwards,
angle. I
and
couldn't
that's
get
going
to
to
the
make
outside
this
of
third
him.
down that much harder.
Yeah, they also make it easier on themselves by wiping out all of the potential short yardage plays they might face.
Third and long.
Look at those career stats.
Gun it in there, Marty Booker. Mostly sure-handed. NFL Fever did not make it over. Fever's not too bad. It's default controls, though, because we tried playing that a while back. His default controls are pretty bad. So you definitely have to edit them if you ever play that game.
First down from the eye.
Good block on the outside there. The juke doesn't pay off.
That will bring up second down.
Thomas Jones played smart and used his blockers to perfection on that last play.
Second and 1.
Desmond Clark. Receivers, they're catching the ball and they're holding on to it. I've had a lot of drops.
And into his receiver's hands. Nice
But Vic, he's got a lot of zip on the ball. So some of the throws that you would miss with other quarterbacks, he could get in there just in the nick of time.
Rifles this one hard over the middle, and it falls.
See, the post route, even if you play the zone, you kind of touch pass it in there. That's what I do a lot.
That's his first drop, and it is not often you see that from him.
No, normally he's pretty sure-handed there.
Second down, and this is the 7th play of the drive.
Just gunned it in there. I was looking for Booker on the corner route, but it looked kind of covered. We got the receiver comparison. Usually it's just Booker leading the league. And I've been spreading the ball around pretty good in this one. I don't know. Can we hit Clark? It's a good season. Completion percentage is pretty low, but... Oh, wow. I didn't even see him. Good thing I threw a lot of heat on that one.
Came in and got a hand on that football and left no chance.
I did not see him. He blended in with the end zone paint.
But instead, the defense comes up big and forced the incompletion.
Way to prevent the big play.
It'll be second down.
Terrell hanging on to the ball scores a touchdown. Wow. Now Booker's had some drops. David Terrell has had more, but this game he's playing like that high draft pick he was. Madden's $15 on the PC. You mean the current Madden? See me, I don't get too aggravated anymore if I don't like the current sports games, because I just go back and play these old ones. And honestly, a lot of these older players resonate with me more than the current guys. Some of it is just my age, but you know, you look up to these guys when you're younger, thinking you want to be some of them, and then as you get older, you don't really necessarily, you know, that time has passed, but you still love the sport, you love watching it, playing it. So if a game is like this, it's NFL licensed, it's a good game, it's based off players that were good at the time, you just go back and play those. Madden, I played a little bit of it. It's not a bad game, it just lacks, you know, character. Like, you know, if this game came out in 2004, I know it's 2K5, but it came out in 2004. 15 years later, Madden is not 15 years later better than this game in pretty much anything.
First down, 3 wideouts in the
Pittsburgh stats, and I'll pay $20 full price on PC. Thankfully, Bennett can't break too many tackles. Because if he breaks one, he'll be gone. Madden 20. Take the Relearn the League challenge. So, Ted, are you a big Madden fan? You play online?
Culpepper rifles this one hard over the middle, and it's tipped. Incomplete.
What I do like about Madden, and this is what I always thought when I first started playing Madden on the PS2, the first one you could do was Madden 03 with Marshall Faulk on the cover. I always thought, like, I've put so many hours into playing this game online, like, why isn't there a way you can, you know, win money playing? And I played in, like, some really small live tournaments at, like, Game Crazy that really didn't pan out.
This one will fall.
There better not be pass interference.
Pass interference, number 54.
Wow, that was a horrible call. My last man was 2001. 93 is the best. That's like one of the first ones. What's up, Infamous Smoke? Good to see you on. Getting back to the ESPN NFL 2K5 season. I know it's not NFL football season, but it's AAF. And then next year, XFL as well. But yeah, what I was saying is, I like the Madden thing that EA has going, like the Championship Series or whatever it's called. I have watched some of that. Now, what is strange to me is that they do like the Ultimate Team. So, guys have like, you know, similar player, or they'll have the same player on each side of the field. I don't really like that because I'm not a big proponent of mirror matches and stuff. But it seemed like everybody had similar players, which is kind of goofy. 51-yard attempt. I'm not buying it. I'm coming out in a 4-3. And they blow it. I'm going to try to get back to normal Sunday. Meaning you're going to stream on Sunday? That would be good to see. So Vikings come Soldier Field 10-1. They've clinched a playoff berth already, but so far they're laying a lame duck. And they just gave Vic 41 seconds to work with all the timeouts remaining.
The Bears come out on offense and are well ahead. They have yet another shot to score and start this drive at their 42-yard line.
Could outrun this guy. And gets out of bounds. Perfect Sunday night streams. One of the things I want to get back to is doing the monthly podcast. Just haven't made it work. We did it pretty much straight for a year and a half, and then last 3 months it kind of fell through. But it's fun to recap all the tournaments around the country. A lot of them Tecmo, NHL 94, NBA Jam. I'd love to see something pop up with this game. Alright, yeah, you got to get that Kentucky dynasty back going. Block.
The Bears take their first time out.
David Terrell's hot. Let's try to hit him on a post. Antonio's saying if Madden 20 doesn't improve gameplay, I won't buy it. Shouldn't have thrown that, but I did anyways.
Incomplete.
Eric Kelly came in and got a hand on that football and left no chance for
I mean, it's not even like improving gameplay. It's just they don't do anything presentation-wise. They've held the ESPN license, I think, for years, and they don't do anything with it. I mean, look at this game. That was just off. 22 seconds, I feel like I'm going to throw a bomb.
Corey Chavis came in and got a hand
on the
that
Hail Mary
football,
formation.
No chance for a reception there.
And then, if there's running room, I'll just take it first, but we'll see.
Vic throws this one way downfield, and it falls incomplete.
I'll have too much time on the clock. I thought it would take off more. My mind's in Tecmo seconds. It only took 6 seconds off the clock.
They don't convert on fourth down there, Peter. Was that the right call?
Well, in retrospect, no. But I can see how that made sense at the time.
The Vikings offense.
Thankfully, they're not in field goal range.
16.
That was a missed opportunity. I really felt like I should have got points on that drive.
Robinson didn't haul that one in,
Good thing he missed that because he had some room to run.
And yet he couldn't make the catch.
Those mid-range passes are not working out for them so far. Peter,
you don't think? Well, they have the ESPN license for NBA Live, so I don't see why they wouldn't have it for Madden. Probably just because they feel like they don't need to pay for it. I remember though when they have had it, they didn't do anything with it. Like what they basically did is get a monopoly on the NFL, like Smoke's saying, and then they bought up the ESPN license so no one could use that, but they didn't use it themselves. I've pretty much been disgusted with Madden ever since like 2005. But I have bought and played some of the games, but Moss is playing. It said at the beginning of the game he was out because of illness. But apparently when it comes to the Hail Mary formation, he's in the game. Alright, we gotta watch the halftime show.
Alright, Dave. Interesting game at the half. We'll get back to you guys in a bit. First, we welcome everybody to our ESPN halftime report. I'm
A balanced attack.
Look at our halftime
I'd have more
stats here
points
at
if I didn't
Look
fumble
at
with
the
Vic.
passing yards. The Bears
I'll take a
are winning
14-0
because of it.
lead against
Let's
the
see if they
10-1
can keep up
Vikings
their
any day.
dominance in the second half. Let's get started in this one early in the first quarter. Michael Green was in the right place at the right time as his interception was a possible momentum shifter. The Bears, midway through the first, the Bears inside the red zone. Ken Irvin would snuff out a drive.
Oh, there was the fumble.
There he is for the recovery.
I didn't dive because it's like sometimes they dive before the line. Like the spotting's weird on QB slides.
Michael Vick would find his target on this one. A 20-yard play that set up a Bear touchdown. Bears up 14-0. Dante Culpepper would drop back and deliver.
I tell you, the Mutant Football League guys do a good job parodying the NFL with their social media posts and the guys that they have in the game. So I think that's the closest thing we've seen to like a competitor in modern games, even though it's clearly arcade style football game.
Thanks, Chris. And today's game has been presented in ESPN Game Sound.
But all these other games I see that should be popping up, or they're working on projects.
The Bears get the ball first this half, and
nothing really comes of it.
Could really open up this game. They currently lead 14-0.
Although, there's that Doug Flutie football game. Haven't looked up too much about it. I know it's something being worked on.
Oh, you bet. They turned the ball over, but they have survived their mistakes. But you can't survive that kind of sloppy play for long. It's going to come back to bite you.
The Bears were stopped on 4th down last time out. We'll see what happens.
Oh, see what I mean? Booker should have had that one. Even with the little play action, sometimes some running room opens for Vic.
Vic unloads this one to the left.
That was too fast for him to catch.
Desmond Clark looked like he had a solid catch there, yet somehow he found a way to drop it.
That's his first drop of the game, and while every drop does hurt,
I gotta go back to my money.
Too much blame on him for that.
Burner account, what's up?
3rd down, 2 wideouts on the field.
5 incompletions in a row. So we've been drops. Just snuck it in there past the linebacker. That's just my money play right there. Vic is a lefty too. Best receiver on the right side. Saw a Twitter poll the other day about best all-time Bears, and a lot of people are saying Marty Booker is one of our best receivers of all time. I know he had at least a 100 reception season. That could have been a pick. Am I getting MLB The Show 19? No. I would more likely play Madden over that. I just completely lost it with baseball games. I mean, the game looks incredible and everything. It's just the pace of playing a baseball game. It's just a little bit too slow for me.
Michael Vick had no one to throw to, so he just tucked it under and went for it. It's worth another look. If it wasn't for that scramble, he would have been toast.
So yeah, right there I caught the defender sticking in the zone, even though I was scrambling.
1st down, 10 yards to go.
That was not open. Ooh. Just in the nick of time, the QB died.
Minute razzle dazzle here, and he gets some yards.
Vic, yellow on the formation. Oh, he's done. He's not tired anymore. I'm actually playing 2K5 right now, a manual updated 2019. LOL, you can only guess how long it took me. You manually updated that? Oh my god, that's crazy. That's awesome though. I mean, you might as well. I would rather play this than, like we were talking about Madden. rather play this. So if you're willing to put in the time, it's like getting an updated version of an NFL game. Hank, what's up? Hank the Tank. Vic, can he pass at all in this game? He can. I actually got 29 touchdown passes with him on the season, maybe more. But when they showed the graphic, he was at 29. If I get it, I'll probably only do the home run derby. Yeah, the home run derbies are always fun in games. There was a mobile game when I first got the iPhone. This is like iPhone 3GS. That had a home run derby. Really had a lot of fun playing it. Not 100% done, but it's pretty solid. Better than Madden 19. Yeah, I don't even want to know how many hours that took you. Booker, sure-handed first and goal. Give me the first down. They're not checking the spot. There you go, Hank. There's the pass right there. The sure-handed Marty Booker.
Oh, that's a wonderful catch. The defense should be shaking their heads.
The balls are coming his way in the middle, and he's making them pay. You have to like his performance.
I don't really like that shimmy tight end. Let's see how it works out. There's the stats for the game. So under 50% completion, but no picks. Johnson gets his first touchdown of the season. Again, guys, I'm playing on All-Pro, and the Vikings are 10-1 in the season. But so far, they're not looking like it.
Johnson is all by himself, and
he was wide open.
Easy catch.
I really didn't put that much pressure on the button I press because Vic has a tendency to zip it, and he threw the touch pass. Took about 7 hours. That's not too bad. I mean, that's a day's work. What percentage are you on finishing that?
There's the signal, and we're ready.
The Tecmo Bowl throwback game on PlayStation 3, I actually have all the rosters updated to the Super Nintendo version, which is that's what the game is made after. I don't remember putting them all in. So I don't remember if I downloaded something off the internet or what I did, but they're all there. So one of these days I'll have to bust out that game and play it some. Kind of like the way it looks, but it's the Super Nintendo game, so it is much slower than the original Tecmo Super Bowl. For Nintendo, Lance Briggs comes up big. Thank you. Yeah, it's weird. I have 4 losses,
Watch the focus here.
and some of those were close. One of them, Vic got injured. The early loss, I still had Grossman at quarterback. But some of the games just feel so easy. This is one of those that
stingy is appearing to be the motto for their defense.
is feeling pretty easy.
Bears start this drive already in field goal position, and they're going to
I thought that was a defender. He was my own guy. Honestly, not going to do every player and leave the O-lines alone, some linebacker spots, but I have 40% left. Yeah, I can see that.
Is that he twisted his ankle. They're putting a brace on him, but it's taking longer than they expected.
It might take me as long as me accurately renaming the 2008 Madden historic teams. No rename guides I have figured out based on Pro Football Reference for height, weight, position, age. Then I find old picture skins. That's awesome that you guys do that. Oh boy. Ran right into that one.
At the 29.
Kevin Williams moved this offense back a few with a great sack in the backfield. That was a great call.
That'll be his first sack of the game.
Time to make a stand.
Let's make a stand.
I've gotten to 1980. Each team takes about an hour and a half. Got him! And there's Marty Booker lining up on the right side, making the play. I think Booker might lead the NFL in this season in receptions. He's like the leading receiver.
Yeah, unless he starts getting shut down, there's no reason for him.
He's got 5. So I ran to the side where all the receivers were at.
That last play, and lucky for him, it worked. That's a great scramble.
I try to hit
Second down, goal to go.
Booker on this quick drag, or just run it in with Vic and see what happens. It's not there. Oh boy. That was a huge loss.
At the 12.
Chris Holman had the quarterback cornered way back downfield there, and he sacked him for a major loss of yards.
Really didn't
They
work
forced
out.
that one backwards, and that's going to make this third down that
It wasn't
much
an in route, it was more of a drag.
By wiping out
Left it open. And we got Marty Booker's touchdown for the game.
out to the left, and that's a touchdown.
Looks like he's gonna cry.
Michael Vick makes a risky pass here.
I think I first started that in around 2013, but just started it back up again around last year and made an Excel for it. Yeah, those are fun projects to work on.
Passes are coming his way.
Yeah, all big passes too. What a game! As you can see, he's
So
all
what,
over the
Hank,
century
what
mark.
game are you doing that
Play
on?
today.
Putting in all those players.
Now the point after, and it's good.
So I really thought this game was going to be a challenge, and it's not over yet, but 4 touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter.
Smith fields it all the way back at the 1. Breaks free. Brought down
Doesn't look like the
at
Vikings are
22.
going to make a
Well,
run
there's
at this
some
one.
interesting information up on the screen.
Oh, you bet. Well, the turnover column has the grim news, in my opinion. If you want to win,
I would say the computer doesn't do that good of a job of adjusting to the defense I've been playing. Most of the game I've just been playing man with 2 safeties back.
Left side, and it's knocked down at the line.
Madden 2008 for PS2. So why did you do it on Madden 2008? I have, Madden... I bought one of the later ones just to see how it was. I think it's Madden 11. The last one I really played was 06, and that had the QB vision, so then I stopped playing.
Wiggins goes in motion.
Well, what is it about Madden 08 that made you choose that one? Quarters coming up with a big
Gets
tackle.
past the markers for a first down.
The only roster I have full is the Bears, obviously. Perfect. What do you think about Jordan Howard
First down, tight end.
getting
to the
traded
left.
for a 6th-round draft pick to the Eagles? I guess the Bears just were done with him.
Culpepper zings
Oh,
it
that
to the
should have
right
been a
side,
pick.
and it's tipped. Incomplete.
Brian Urlacher knocked that pass down, and he made sure the only one to
Yeah,
touch the
I
football
tipped
was
it
him.
after he tipped
As a
it.
team, they are batting down passes left
06
and
and
right. That is their
08.
6th so far. Wow.
Yeah, my Madden wheelhouse is 2001 to 2005. And I have 6. But I didn't like the forced QB vision online. I know I've probably repeated myself
For the third quarter. The Bears
often
in
about that,
command of
but
this one,
it's what it is.
8-0.
The Bears crushing them in Soldier Field. And to hold the Culpepper Vikings 0 so far is pretty good. With Randy Moss.
Culpepper gets
Figured
some
they were
air
going
under
there.
this pass, and it's tipped. Incomplete. That will
See if
bring
they
up
punt and
fourth
give
down.
up or go
Mike
for it. I'm
Brown
just going to say
read
they're
that
going
play
to go for
any
it.
better if it was tattooed on the inside of his helmet.
Another batted ball, and they have
Bob
been
Money
taking
says
the
Bears
pass
QB
every
is
chance they get.
ass.
That's right, Dan. You know, why simply defend the pass when you can obliterate?
2008 has 2001. They are going for it. And that was a horrible play on 4th down.
And they will turn the ball over on down.
2001 and 2002, a few extra teams.
Hey, if you check
2008 is 4
you'll
extra
find
historic
examples
teams.
of how these guys earn their
2002
paycheck
Buccaneers, which I was a
each and every
bandwagoner of.
And hey, there's no better
With John
way to earn
Gruden as the
paycheck
coach,
than knocking a
Warren
few heads down
Sapp,
there
Brad
on the field.
Johnson. I remember that team.
The Bears offense takes the field. And
they gave up nothing. I didn't think he was bad last season, but I don't know. I trust Nagy and Pace. They have a plan. I guess they thought they would at least get a third. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't win like they did last year, a lot of people would be like, what are they doing? Like, even the Trubisky trading, I forgot what it was, like a first and a second, or 2 first rounds, like something crazy to just move up 1 pick to get Trubisky. But it worked out so far. I mean, he looks like he hasn't done anything phenomenal, but he made the Pro Bowl, and he looks like a real poised quarterback. Don't cover this well at all.
Marty Booker took his lone defender to school on that last play, making the catch with relative
QB rating for Vic today.
Finally nabbed one because he's had a string of missed catches before this.
Yeah, his quarterback obviously didn't.
He missed 1 catch.
Because he's kept throwing it.
Get it right.
First down with the tight end. Carter takes him down back at the 4.
Tyrone Carter targeted the ball carrier early and didn't even let him get back to the
See
line of
if it is
scrimmage.
slant. Don't throw too many of those.
Behind the line of scrimmage, and
I guess
then
what
they'll
you
bring
do
up
is
second
put it
down.
out.
One man to beat.
Oh, wow.
In front of him.
And I was just thinking, I don't want to screw up this QB rating. I always throw like 1 pick with Vic at least.
And he's in for the touchdown.
And that's the thing. I feel like even this was true in Madden. There's certain routes I would stay away from. The slant's kind of hard to read right away. So you kind of just trust it and throw it. Obviously, it didn't work out there. But that's why I like the post route, because I can kind of read if it's going to be open or not.
It's good.
You like Trubisky's swagger, but he's an accurate like this Dak Prescott. Oh boy, I wasn't ready for this onside kick. Manley, the long snapper for the Bears.
Patrick Manley is quick to react when the onside kick comes down.
You like the post with tight ends?
And get the football before the kicking team has
Let's try one of those.
It's all about reflexes.
A gutsy call, and when you live high stakes, you win.
I don't like the quick routes because I really can't see them.
They lost, and now we'll see how they recover.
Vic,
good call, Hank, right up the middle to Clark on the post.
Desmond Clark had 3 guys covering him, but look what happens. Incredible catch.
Peter, I'm sure he's happy to bring that one in. The last 3 passes to him have all been incompletion.
Best NFL game ever. Yeah, it's up there. I'm not going to argue.
Kelly tips it away on the coverage. Incomplete.
Eric Kelly couldn't have read that play any better if it was
for a certain era of people, it's definitely up there.
Give him his second batted ball of the game.
I think it's Tecmo Super Bowl and Nintendo, but you know, that's just me. And that opened up perfectly for Vic. A button was wide open. There's probably a delay on that. Yeah, I missed some receivers. Most of the time, I'm just looking for one. And if it's not there, I'll hit a check down. But with Vic, a lot of times, if it's the first one's not there, I'll just drop it down and run.
Another touchdown, and they are really running away with this one.
The crazy thing is, they aren't showing any signs of slowing down.
As long as the touchdown passes the interception ratio is 3-1, I'll take it.
Here's the extra point, and it's good.
Point is good.
Paul Edinger hitting those PATs.
Signal, and we're set. Edinger rockets this one deep.
Edinger's known for his extra wind-up on kicks.
Out of the end zone for a touchback.
What do you think about the Odell Beckham Jr. trade? I think it's I think it's riskier than most people think it is.
And they are way
like Odell's, Beckham's Giants have only made the playoffs once. He's obviously a huge talent. I don't know. Is he going to bring his maturity to Cleveland? Is that going to bring unwanted attention for a Cleveland team that was on the rise? I don't know. I hope it works out and the Browns are something to reckon with. But I don't think one guy, especially a wide receiver, is going to make the difference. Like, oh, now we're going to the playoffs. Like, no, it's a team game. Mike Brown. But I do like it. It's going to be exciting for the Browns. It's been a long time since anyone could say they were excited to watch Browns games, but now with a dynamic player like him, people are going to want to watch Browns games. Last time people wanted to watch Browns games when they had Johnny Football, but that didn't last too long because he was screwing up before people could really get excited about it.
Pushed out at the 24.
1.8 turnovers per game. Not too good.
You know what to do. Let's stick to the plan.
Second down and 4.
They also have Kareem Hunt. That's right. He was a big running back for the Chiefs. I know. They look to have a really good offense. Justin Gage, get him in the action. One cool thing I found out on the store teams, 77 Bears have a third-string QB Evans as a kick returner, which is historically accurate. Yeah, there was players were doing more back then.
Great pass, Peter, and he's
I mean,
having a terrific day so far.
Everything's so specialized now.
Over 360 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Like Marty Booker on the Bears, I'm trying to think of examples. He was like their emergency quarterback, and he got in to like throw some Hail Marys at the end of the half. I remember seeing that. Gets in for another rushing touchdown. This is the beatdown of the Vikings.
Nice gain on this baby. Look at him eat up the yardage here.
That was his second rushing touchdown of the day. Not a bad day at the office so
They don't even
far.
have an offensive touchdown. That was a defensive touchdown.
That kind of player.
Got the techno music going.
Extra point, and it's good.
You got Tom Tupa. There's another good example. Punter and quarterback. Back from quarterback to the Cardinals, but actually played some. I think he started some games for the Cardinals. I'm sure Hank would know that.
The kickoff at the 1.
It can only be done since the programmers had it put in. Ernest Biner was emergency QB. I think he played QB in college. Yeah, so one of the things, like if you look at the Maddens of like the 2001 to 2005 era, they're guys who did play like quarterback in college or at some level. And if you go, like if he's a receiver or cornerback, whatever he is, if you go look at their throw accuracy and pass accuracy, you'll see that they actually have a higher rating for those.
Unfortunately, we've had some players banged up so far.
Unfortunately so. Well,
What's good, Noah? How's it going? Texas made a mistake, but they walk. Yeah. 2000 Jets emergency QB. So one example I could think of, and he actually never played a down in the NFL, even though he's a Heisman Trophy winner, was Eric Crouch. And Eric Crouch was in one of the Maddens. I forget what year it was. But he was supposed to play receiver for the Rams. And obviously he's a quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner. But he was in the game as a receiver. But you could put him in at quarterback, and his throw accuracy and pass accuracy was up there. I mean, it wasn't like quarterback good level, but it was like at least in the higher 60s. But he was fast, so you could put him at quarterback and have a scrambling team because you could put him there. Tecmo Super Bowl is still my all-time favorite football game. Also, it is most fun for me. I can also play my brother who's not that good. Give him 49ers, so we have a great game. Yeah, see, you still have to be into football more to play this game because you have to select the plays, formations. The thing about Tecmo Super Bowl, it's more all-encompassing just because it's more basic as far as play calling. It's either you just call your offensive plays, defensively, you're always in a 3-4, and you just try to guess the exact play your opponent's picking. So it's a little bit different. And non-football people are more likely to get into that. Cordell Stewart is a wide receiver for the 95 historic team.
They couldn't connect on this one. Incomplete.
But you can't put him at QB. Oh, that sucks. I remember that was one of the games I used to do that too. Was Madden 97. That was like the first time I would do that, is put Cordell at quarterback. I forget if he was there or not. I actually traded for Cordell as a backup on the Bears. Oh wow, horrible tackle. He's a lot faster than I would have expected him to be. He's like an 84 or something. I think Vic's like 91. So at this point in Cordell's career, they weren't that close in speed. And ironically, he was a quarterback on the Bears for a season. I think in like 2001 or 2002. It didn't really work out, but they gave it a try. I was excited for that season for the Bears. They had Urlacher at the time too.
It's good.
New football games are much harder for him to learn. Gainesville, Florida is where John's from. Yeah, it's just
they're setting up for the onside kick.
Oh man.
Ellen bounces it up. Natil gets it off the bounce at the 39.
Gotta be ready for those.
The Vikings tried an onside kick on that
one. The cool thing about retro games is they're very simple, so a person who's more into sports or more into fantasy or more into just mainstream stuff, they can play anything because the games are simpler. These days, it's like you got to pick a specialization almost when it comes to video games.
Richard Angulo is all
I should have called a timeout
from the moment it leaves the kicker's toe.
So they get that onside kick, but whatever. I got a huge lead.
The gamble to try the onside kicks paid off big for them. They regained possession.
Incredible job recovering the kick, Dan. You can't coach that.
The Vikings will start this drive near midfield. The Vikings,
they're calling timeouts.
First timeout.
Closest tournament is Atlanta. It's not that big. Myself and Retro Sports Gamer are big Tecmo gamers. That is right. I mean, when it comes to sports games, retro sports games, I don't think any game has more tournaments than Tecmo Super Bowl.
Michael Green delivers a punishing blow to the ball.
I know local events, NBA Jam does pretty good, especially like Arcade Machine.
Peter, he gets his first forced fumble of the day, and it's
NHL 94.
Since the first snap.
Yeah, he's been going for the ball all day.
But outside of that, I haven't seen too much. I think my philosophy behind that is the games that you could play online, they don't.
Passes this one all the way.
Oh wow! They don't have like a following that wants to put on live events. Like Tecmo Super Bowl was always live for all these years until, you know, Nesticle and Windows 95 probably came out a little later than that. But you couldn't do it. So you had to play live. Yeah, I should have. I was talking more than paying attention, but it worked out. Got the ball back. High Heat Baseball 2000 PS1. Really haven't played too much of it. Can't really say.
The Vikings have it.
That's the trouble with Vic. Sometimes you think you're going to run out of it, but
and they get some good yards out of it.
Clearly that wasn't going to happen there. I feel like this happens sometimes when I get a big lead. It just gets sloppy at the end.
At 1:15.
Oh, that should be
Makes a play on this and forces the incompletion.
Nathan Vasher got himself in prime position.
Nathan Vasher is a rookie. His ratings aren't too good in this, even though he did have a good rookie season. I don't think anyone was expecting him to play as good as he did. Oh, McMillan had 2 chances at a pick on that. He missed it.
Culpepper has found limited success in the passing game.
Yeah, they're taking a beating. I think they're one of the teams that beat me, though, in the season. So they were due up. Coming to Soldier Field. It's going to be hell to pay. What a catch. Few games are universally accepted as the game for the sport Tecmo Super Bowl is.
First down, the clock is
yeah, and the other thing is, too, there was just more of a delay of when good games came out. They actually created new engines for the game engines. Whereas once they started getting to, like, I'm going to say like 93-ish, 94, they would just use the same game engine, make it better, and then go on doing that. So each game had less significance, and then it's hard for people to come to an agreement on which of the years was the best version. Randy Moss, he had to get a touchdown in. Alright, I promise I'll do the onside kick recovery this time.
And he still made the catch. I don't know if it was a good...
Vikings scoring touchdowns, but not really making it close. So the thing about Tecmo Super Bowls is just so much better than everything else, and for a long time, it was better than everything else. That's why I think it has the following it does. Definitive baseball game of the era. The thing is with baseball games is there is actually a lot of good ones, so it's the same thing. It's like it's hard for people to come to an agreement upon which one is the best. Whereas like Tecmo Super Bowl, there's no comparison. The only thing that was comparison was its own Tecmo Bowl, the first one, and even that came out 3 years before.
A scoring machine.
Didn't haul that one in, and it falls incomplete.
Tecmo Super for Genesis is the worst, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that. I just recently played it. It looks good. It sounds good. Just it's really slow. It's even slower than Super Bowl. Like I didn't really realize it.
Hunts him down in the backfield, and the clock continues to run.
I feel like I should have put Cordell Stewart in this fourth quarter, just so I don't hurt Vic.
Fifth sack of the day, and they have been simply relentless so far.
I might as well try to score. I think I would travel the Midwest for a real good Super Tecmo Super Bowl tournament. Maybe one day I'll make the trip just for the fun of it. Yeah, I definitely think you should. It's a good time. There's a lot of them to choose from in the Midwest. You coming from Florida, maybe Ohio would be a little bit closer, like Cincinnati was a good one. Oh, I did not need to throw another pick. Yeah, this one just got super sloppy, but hey, a win's a win. A win is a win.
And man, he timed it perfectly.
The Vikings will
You know, when I'm playing, I'm getting competitive with my season stats. Like, I want Vic to finish like MVP voting or up there. And I hate when I'm throwing these pointless picks for no reason. Baseball Stars, I think, is the best, but it doesn't really have real players. 5 teams. Other 3 outliner games are a little too long for the tournament. I think Bad News Baseball is a really good one. But it's the same thing. It's not real players. Baseball Stars, I just think the fielding's too zoomed in, and a lot of baseball games suffer from that. But as far as customization in a baseball game, it's the best on the NES. So sometimes you get a recap after the game, sometimes you don't. I don't know what the difference is, why you get it, why you don't. But hey, just took them down. No, I'm not prepared for the game. So I gotta simulate the rest of the... simulate the rest of the week. So now we could watch the Sports Center, which we'll do in just a minute. Dusty Diamond's also good, but not realistic. Yeah, it's like over $50 game. I never played it actually. I've watched videos of it. It does look good, but it's not as well known. Base Wars is a great game for complete insanity. Yes, that's another one I need to play more of. Okay, so John, I'll let Hank answer the question in that chat. It is played online and every day, believe it or not. There's a community on Discord, the Tecmo Super Bowl community. There's the GB Land community, which is run by Troy that plays some Tecmo Super Bowl. So yes, it is played online. So here we go. So the Buccaneers are still creeping up there, but getting closer to locking in that wild card spot. The 49ers are at 6-6, and the Packers, they would be the closest. So player awards, power rankings, still 8th in the power rankings. I guess I'll take it. There's teams with better records. Vikings still won after that beatdown, huh? I guess they liked that fourth quarter. Like, they just had a bad first 3 quarters. Playoff picture. Yep, right there. Even though I got a better record than the Redskins, that's what I don't like, the way the NFL organizes the playoffs. It's just 14 divisions is too small. Players, let's see league leaders. You know, Vic's at 89. I could be better if I just didn't throw stupid picks at the end of the games. Vic's second in rushing in the league, though, too. So that's pretty impressive. Yards, oh, I thought it would be higher. How about TDs? Up there in the top 5. Yeah, Booker's leading in receptions, in yards, not an average. Touchdowns, yeah, Booker more drops, but when you're targeted that much, Might get that 100 receptions. It can be a little hard to set up. If you have trouble, don't be afraid to ask for controllers. Suggest either Xbox Afterglow, or there's a device you can plug your NES controller into. So yeah, I'm gonna save. We'll watch the weekly recap, and then that will probably do it. So looking good for the playoffs now. And let's watch this week's Sports Center.
I'm Chris Berman. Let's get straight to the action. In our first game this week, we had the Jets come away with a decisive 10-point win.
Two teams not going to make the playoffs.
Contest, but will stay at the third place in the NFC North. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Saints win their 5th game of the season. Kevin Slice and Dyson stepped it up this week.
Broncos might be on the bubble.
Some added firepower for the win. Vikings, Bears. Ken Urban is able to step in front of his pass.
I've had this happen before where I completely dominate the game and then they show like, oh, they're up 28-0 and they get a run back for a touchdown. Let's show that, even though they got killed.
We had a big injury.
Not liking it.
Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Boomer, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC
Peter Warwick.
And as
I think
you can see,
he went to Florida State.
Peter Warwick is probably the one that most leaps out at.
He's probably looked at as being a bigger receiver than he ended up being in the NFL, but
there's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs.
I think he had some decent years.
In front of you, we've got the NFC list, and as you can see, they could form
there's
their own
huge
match.
injuries.
Torrey Holt won't see action for a while, so this offense is going to have to make do without him.
So I got a Cordell Stewart as an insurance policy. I had the game Vic got injured. I had to put Jonathan Quinn at quarterback, and that was just
now on to even bigger news.
Bad
you may
news.
have already heard. Brock Marion is done for the year as he's been placed on injured reserve. And as the quarterback of the defense, his loss will certainly be felt.
If you stream Tecmo on PS3, let me know what you did to get your Elgato computer to pick it up. Couldn't get my PS3 computer and Elgato to show up on screen only system. I can't record with. You know what? There's some extra steps you have to go through. It's just why I haven't done it yet. Because when Sony was doing the PlayStation 3, they were trying to block streaming before they decided, oh, this is actually better for us if we just build it into the console. But yeah, they actually, you have to change some settings, do some different things. There's instructions for it, so you gotta look for it online. I think even Elgato at one point gave you instructions how to do it. But it's not just plug it up and go type of thing with the PS3.
2 years, $1.0 million.
Cardinals, Lions.
So it's not really a hassle. I'm trying to go through when I have plenty of other consoles to hook up to play. Oh, that was a nice touchdown. But it is a Tecmo Bowl game, and it is one that I would like to play on stream eventually.
The Buccaneers racked up over 150 rushing yards in their win at Tampa. The Patriots won in impressive fashion on the road.
Patriots smoking the competition.
Chiefs.
No problem.
Trent Green.
Mark signals at the 24-yard line. Do they go to the end zone?
At least it's possible, you
A
know.
little extra time at the snap. Good pocket. Slings it.
But it's pretty extreme that they went from trying to block it to, oh, here's a share button on the controller. Just stream whenever, and Twitch, YouTube, here's all the options.
In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Colts win their 9th game of the year.
It's one-on-one AC double coverage.
Game, keeping his streak alive, but in the end, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
Steelers, Jaguars.
The Jags.
Lee Mays is so dangerous inside the red zone. And call signals at the 5. And there it is, a quick post, a slant touchdown. The Steelers win this one by the final score of 24-14.
All right, Boomer, thanks. With the playoffs a little more than a month away,
here we go,
things are
getting the
starting to
playoff
get
rundown
real
now.
Interesting when it comes to seeding and the races for the division crowns. Let's start
Steelers
things
and
off by
Raiders.
taking a look at the AFC. And now checking things out over in the NFC playoffs.
The Bears, number 5.
So that's how we stand to this point. Still lots of jockeying left to go as we get this thing sorted out for January. So that'll do it from here.
2 wins, definitely got it.
Over to you.
So another week in
Jordan
the books here on
saying, "Why are
ESPN,
you
but
playing
Wayne said
this?
We hand out a few game balls before we go.
Why?
Here's my
Why not? It's
prime
ESPN
time
NFL 2K5. No, I started a season on
Hello,
this,
sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks
and I'm
so
just
much
getting
for
back
joining
to
us
it.
here in the Bristol studio.
So,
See you next week right here on ESPN. The worldwide
and I've
leader
never
of
played through a season on this because I played more Madden back in the day, and I just bought it because it was $20, and I enjoyed it a little bit. But this is really enjoyable experience, to be honest with you. You use a laptop to play Tecmo? Yes, that's how you do it. Laptop or just a desktop computer. Discord. I have the Discord on this channel. If you haven't joined it yet, there's an invite link. If you look on the computer on YouTube, it's just that little, I don't even know what you call it, logo. But yeah, Discord, I surprisingly spend more time on there than like Facebook or Twitter these days. It's just direct communication about things you enjoy. And obviously, the one that we have is all about retro sports games. John says he did Discord once. But, yeah guys, thanks for watching. I think one's good. I'll try to get back to this more. I took the Elgato from my brother, Lumberjack Cracks. Mort has my equipment in Omaha, Nebraska. Tomorrow he will be streaming the Tecmo Bowl and RBI baseball tournaments. So they're one after another. Tecmo Bowl starts at noon Central Time, I believe. I don't think Omaha is different from us. Yeah, 51 in computer lazy. Yeah, what? It's tough, you know, learning new things about the computers. Sometimes, you know, going through the hassle is a little rough. But yeah, Tecmo Bowl RBI, you definitely want to check that out tomorrow. I'm really excited to see the Tecmo Bowl tournament because Brad Bell's running the tournament, and he's not only the self-proclaimed best player, he has the tournament wins to back it up. So we'll see if he can win his own tournament again. I have played him online on the Nintendo Switch. The first time I played him, I did beat him, but it was a little bit laggy. I played him a few games after that, and he beat me in those games. So, but he's really good at the game with no lag. He's probably the best. It was probably a fluke. But yeah, check that out tomorrow. The Tecmo Bowl, it's really it's more depth to it than you think. So yeah, check that out tomorrow. And now I have the equipment. I could do more streams more often now. So if you have requests for stuff, just comment in the videos, and I could do that in the future. So guys, thanks for watching. This is a win for the Chicago Bears. We're 8-4. We're right in the wild card spot where we need to be. Take care. Have a good night.